Hi everyone, Heidi Neufeld here, and today I want to talk about anxiety defined. When I say defined, I am not referring to a classic definition that you might find when you look in a dictionary, when you search online, maybe when you talk to a care practitioner. But when I say defined, I mean defined from a personal experience. Having suffered myself with anxiety from a young child through to my early 30s, which was probably the biggest journey I've ever been on in my life, I recognized that sometimes when we use the word defined and we're trying to figure out what am I feeling, what's going on, what is anxiety exactly, it can sometimes end up being entirely different than some of the things that we have perceived it as. So I'm going to break it apart. We're just going to take a couple minutes here because my whole heart is to give you the knowledge behind exactly what's happening in the body. What is anxiety even actually? Not what someone else thinks it is, but what is it exactly? What's happening in your body? To be able to give you the continued tools and the knowledge and the power to be able to overcome this thing, because you are not created with a spirit of fear. You are not. When we were born, we didn't come into this earth with this constant feeling of dread and all these physical manifestations that are resulting because of what's going on the inside. We just didn't. This is something, anxiety is something that develops because of how we respond and react to our environment, our circumstances, our thought processes, which also gives hope, meaning that we can retrace out of there and we can get back to that natural state, which is peace and calm. So anxiety defined Heidi style. I'm going to tell you how I began to define it and understand it, because once I did, I was able to get over this whole, I'm going to call it a hurdle of not really feeling like I kind of got it, but I kind of didn't, but I felt stuck over here and I knew what to do, and yet it felt far away. And if I tried, I kind of got hung up on this hurdle in the middle. So I felt like I fell back to the back end and like I had to start all over. Have you ever been there? So here is my definition of anxiety. Anxiety equals fatigue. Seem over simple? It actually is. As a matter of fact, when I began to unravel this, I didn't believe it myself. I thought, no, everything I know about anxiety equals worry. When I would go to a practitioner, when I would tell someone that my body was manifesting anxiety or the physical, emotional symptoms of it, the first question was always, what are you worrying about? And I literally almost 99% of the time would tell them nothing. And they're like, well, that's not possible because anxiety means that you're scared or that you're worrying. I was like, no, actually, I literally know that on the inside of me, I'm not worrying. Worry to me was a symptom of the anxiety, not the other way around. Worry didn't cause anxiety, although it can if you are someone who tends to just overthink. That's a whole different segment, a whole different thing that we can talk about, and we will. But anxiety is caused by fatigue in the body, emotionally or physically. And one of the resulting symptoms is worry, fear, overthinking, intrusive thoughts, kind of like that rubber ball that keeps bouncing. Then when you have that constant feeling of dread and worry, because now you're like, what's wrong with me? Why are these things happening? And you do tend to overthink. I certainly did, because it's just a natural symptom of the body being exhausted. Just think of a hamster running on a wheel. When a hamster's running on a wheel and it's going, right, things start to get sloppy and you get a little bit out of breath. I love using analogies, because then when that happens, then what else happens? Now my legs start hurting and my heart starts racing and all these things, and my mind starts racing because I'm like, how am I running off the wheel? And you see how the cycle just continues and continues. But it all starts back with fatigue. So anxiety defined is fatigue. I'm going to keep coming back to you. I'm going to keep helping you unravel this thing. I'm going to keep filling you with hope. And we are absolutely going to open the conversation. And I want you to be able to join the coaching that I'm going to be launching, and it's going to be really soon. There's going to be options of private, there's going to be options of group coaching, but we're going to keep unraveling this. We're going to keep opening the conversation. We're going to keep really defining and figuring out what it is, why it's happening, what's going on the inside, why are my thoughts going crazy, and what can I do about it? Because I promise you, you can absolutely walk free. You are not created with this fear of fear or anxiety. It's something that's developed, which also gives hope. Like I said in the beginning, that it's something that we can undo, kick to the curb, so that you can get back to living a joy-filled life.